I kind of spoke about this with a lot of my friends since I've been back here, and like a lot of the question is, why did you do that, and what am I doing?
Right.
And I don't even have an exact answer for that, but intuition would be the ultimate answer. And I've always followed my intuition, and my intuition's guided me everywhere I've been and everywhere I go. It's brought me to California to be a skater. It's connected me with this amazing community of people. It led me to believe in my designs and put them out there into the world. It made me believe I could be a pro skater, I could be a designer, I could be a musician, I could be an artist, I could,
Totally.
whatever I want to do. I could be a photographer, I could be a video editor, I could do all these things. And over all these years, I have done all these things. And now I'm like looking at this like the collective of all those things, they all go into the process of making a company. So if you want to make a company, you have to know how to design. You have to know how to use Illustrator or Photoshop. You have to know how to express that idea that's in your head. And then you have to know how to translate that to manufacturing. Then you have to know how to do manufacturing and sourcing and connect with the right people and get the right products, scheduling, build a website, make marketable assets of these products, and post them and sell them. And this is something I've been doing for many, many years, but I've been doing it for a lot of other people, and I never did it for myself.
Right.
And right around the beginning of the pandemic, everything ended in skateboarding for me as far as finances go. My last check came in from Supra, and it was done, was bought by another company, and I said, what the heck am I going to do?
Right.
This ended. So, am I good?
Yeah, you're chilling.
You've landing great.
I mean, whenever that says that, I'm like, do I got a booger?
Oh no, I feel like I got boogers. That's
I
why
always get that feeling as soon as I'm being recorded too. So it's like you get some new feeling develops in your nose that's not even there. You're like,
Raj, I think there's a picture on his Instagram about of the house. I think you posted it.
Where I'm at
on
the
your
house,
Instagram. You're
the place I live at now.
Ohio, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's some places on.
It's in the links, Raj.
Yeah, I probably put some photos on there,
Dude,
and
beautiful,
there's all kinds of like areas of the place itself too, and it's
Beautiful.
it's
Look
just.
at this.
It's that's my house. There it is.
There it is.
That's my. Oh, look at the moon. You see the moon just aligned perfect right on top of there.
That's great.
And then so in the foreground, those are grapevines. They're out of season because there's a little snow. It's not. They look dead, but that's what all the trees do out there. Everything looks dead. I'm so amazed by that. I love that. I love to see like everything is dead. You're like it's done, and then all of a sudden spring comes and this life comes, and I could go on and on and on about the magic of this place and where I'm at, and all the experiences I've had out there have been like beyond life-changing, beyond like a spiritual awakening or like a newfound perception of life and outlook in general.
Can we just talk about this really quickly?
Sure.
Because like it is a huge leap from city life to where I mean, you're on a farm now, right? You got to care for animals and the land and all this stuff. And like when you first moved out there, people were like, what is the Muska doing? Like, were you getting DMs? Like, what is this guy? Is he out of his mind? Like, what's going on?
I'm still getting it. Yeah. Some people are starting to understand more, I think. And then some of those same people that were questioning me in the beginning are now like, dude,
they're almost
you're
jealous.
like 10 steps ahead. Like, what are you doing?
Right,
like, that's what we want to do now,
But how did you even did you just start the process of like learning all this stuff? Like how to tend to the land and like.
So the previous owners of the property just happened to go, hey, we know you know nothing about this. We know that you're a city boy, and they're like. So I don't think their kids were as interested in taking on the skill set that they knew and understood, and they saw my genuine interest in it as well. And I think that they were like, oh man, this is cool. And so we're the odd couple, and they own a church and they're preachers, and they were basically so self-sustainable. They had no cell phones, no internet, and they had this beautiful property, and they built it from scratch. They built the house. They designed the whole. It was an empty plot of land, and they did it all, built it. And they were getting older, and it's a lot. It's a lot to take on, and it has basements and a third level and a warehouse, and the warehouse has 2 levels. And they didn't want basements, and they wanted to downsize basically. Sure. So. I purchased this property, and they said, they'd come by every so often. And at first we were kind of like, just really, hey, show me the stuff. And we eventually became like really good friends. And so I don't see him as much now. It was basically the whole first year, and yeah. And they came by and they taught me so much. Like, I mean, you know, I never in my life I couldn't keep a houseplant alive, basically, you know. and I went from that to like, you know, having a seed in my hand and putting it in the dirt and seeing the seed sprout and then taking the sprout and putting it into a plug and it becomes a plant. And then that plant became a vegetable. And then I'm eating these vegetables. And like, it was just like such a rewarding feeling that like I had never experienced, you know. And it was like skateboarding kind of. It's like learning a trick, you know. And I like to prove that I can do anything. And I wanted to prove to them that I could do it, you know? And so that was like my little personal challenge, that like whenever they showed up once a week, that when they showed up, they were like, oh, wow, you maintained it like we did, you know, and you did it right. You grew the food and it's all working, and you pruned the trees correctly.
Well, because they put their blood, sweat, and tears into it, and I'm sure you wanted to continue that and make them proud too.
Yeah,
right?
for sure, 100%. Yeah. And like I said, plus I just wanted to like, I guess, prove that even though I came from the city and I didn't know anything, that if I put my mind to it, I could work really hard and do it. And that's all I've been doing. So I got there 3 years ago, and it just it started and it hasn't stopped. It's work all day on the land, come inside, design on the computer, send some information off to the factories, come back in, check my web store, check my social media, do a post, go back outside, mow the grass, tend to the chickens, feed my groundhogs.
I love the groundhog. Dude. Dig Dug and Scarhead?
Yeah. Dig Dug and Scarhead, man. Those are my homies. So.